When I went to Art Center, I learned a lot of things, and of course I went there to study automotive design, and I soon realized that that's probably the last thing that they were going to teach you there, because there were so many other things that you had to learn before you could really get into doing any automotive design. So in 5 days of school, 4 days of school were other subjects. You'd study color, basic drawing, lettering, figure indication, graphics, and then finally there might be an initial course on automotive design where you'd get some basic history. All the rest of these things were things that I should have spent a lot more time studying, and I realized later that the little bit that I did get there was incredibly important to me in terms of graphics and color and lettering. Any of those things became very important later in terms of designing the livery on my race cars or whatever we were doing. But the car design part was really obviously my most favorite part, and I had great instructors who were very helpful and other students who were excellent designers. When I first started Art Center, I was so far behind the curve that it was just so impressive, the talent that was in that school, because several of the guys had won scholarships there on the Fisher Body Craftsman's Guild, had made model cars that were already in touch with the industry and knew where they wanted to go with it. And of course I was completely green, so I was in awe of all the students and of all the work on the walls. It was just really impressive, and did my very best to try to catch up. And slowly I began to pick up on how all this stuff was done. But boy, at the beginning it wasn't that it was difficult. It was just it was so overwhelming that the quality of work there was so good. Years later, I returned to Art Center and taught there a couple of days a week, and taught the history of automotive design and some automotive design classes. And it was very important to impart how important these ancillary classes that all these young students had to take in there, that were transportation guys or the car design guys, were like myself, that were totally focused on automotive design and didn't realize how important these other subjects were. And I tried to impart that experience, that what I had missed out when I was there, I should have spent a lot more time, because if you have great figure indication and you can put people down in your sketches that are totally believable, it makes the sketch a lot better and the presentation is better. And I had gone down there on the basis that my mother, who was financing my schooling at that time, wanted me to be an architect, and that's why I'd gone to college to try to study that. But I just didn't have the interest in doing that. And I had got an agreement that I would get some funding to go down and try this new school out. And I think it was a combination of both the cost and this is not what she wanted me to be doing, and pretty much just wrote me a letter and said that my financing was over and I wasn't going to have any more money to go to school there. So it was either, quit school and go get a job doing some menial work, or figure out a different way. And luckily, by that time, I'd made enough contacts in Detroit, especially with Chuck Jordan at General Motors, who was a headhunter at that time and later became head of GM Styling. I called Chuck and told him what my situation was, and said he'd send me an airplane ticket